Do you think Trump is honest? There was an article in the Wall Street.
Yes, in some ways, no.
There was an article in the Wall Street Journal just a couple of days ago describing the fishy investments from Abu Dhabi into the Trump family. Does this concern you at all?
Of course. I mean, I've been calling this out, I think, before pretty much anybody else. I mean, early on in the Trump administration, I thought this was wrong. If the name were Biden and instead of Trump, people would be screaming bloody murder.
Trump is clearly losing swaths of his base, and one key conservative voice seems to be spearheading the exodus. See, Trump has long relied on a friendly chorus of conservative voices and cultural allies to echo his talking points and defend his policies, and keep his base energized more than anything. This recent development should make him nervous. See, influential conservative commentator Ben Shapiro, once a reliable Trump ally, is openly criticizing aspects of the MAGA movement as a whole, and specifically Trump's decisions regarding him enriching himself while in office. In a recent New Yorker interview, Ben Shapiro, once considered among the leading voices in conservative news media, took direct aim at the internal MAGA movement, criticizing its drift towards conspiracy-driven thinking and rhetoric that he sees as corrosive. Shapiro vocally supported Trump in 2024 after initially backing Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. I mean, he even hosted Trump on his own show during the campaign. And he's publicly objected to what he called the, quote, skeeziness surrounding Trump's cryptocurrency association. And when he was asked in this interview recently with The New Yorker what his opinions were regarding the president enriching himself further to the tune of billions since going back into office in 2024, and whether it concerns him, Ben Shapiro responded,
"Do you think Trump is honest?" There was an article in the Wall Street.
Yes, in some ways, no.
There was an article in the Wall Street Journal just a couple of days ago describing the fishy investments from Abu Dhabi into the Trump family. Our reporter, David Kirkpatrick, who's extremely conservative in his calculations about how he's assessing this, has said that the Trump family has enriched itself to the tune of $4 billion since taking office again in 2024. Does this concern you at all?
Of course. I mean, I've been calling this out, I think, before pretty much anybody else. I mean, early on in the Trump administration, when World Liberty Financial was pretty clearly making a fair bit of money over in the Middle East, I raised red flags on my show consistently about how I thought this was wrong. If the name were Biden and instead of Trump, people would be screaming bloody murder. And how this was not beneficial to President Trump's agenda either. So sure, that
well, not beneficial to his agenda or corrupt?
I mean, both, obviously. Mm-hmm. I mean, I do think that if you are taking, you know, what I perceive to be digital assets that are not particularly worthwhile, and then you have people who are politically interested investing massive amounts of money into those things, that is not a good thing.
Let's also remind ourselves that it's the same Ben Shapiro who once said that he'd never vote for Trump back in 2016. Regardless, the dude still reaches a mass conservative audience. So his shameless flip-flopping aside, it does coincide with a trend that we are seeing that should have the MAGA base rattled, to say the least.
Jeffrey Epstein was supposedly killed. That's on an FBI form. That's not somebody calling in an anonymous tip or writing it on some deep, dark place in the internet. That's an actual FBI file stating what happened. And people are going to have to completely take in what they are seeing with their own eyes, what they're reading, and what they're being told. The reality is the Trump administration is not releasing the information. And I got yelled at by the president over this. This is why he called me a traitor. He called me a traitor because I would not take my name off the discharge petition, because I stood firmly and said, no, we're going to release the Epstein files. I'm standing with women who were raped as teenagers. I'm not standing with the government. I don't support the cover up of all of this stuff, whatever it may be.
And this comes in the wake of another of Trump's once trusted allies, the Wall Street Journal. They dropped a bombshell article describing what they had said as the fishy investments from Abu Dhabi. Yes, this is coming from the same Wall Street Journal that is owned by Rupert Murdoch. And the thing is, it's not just Shapiro or even Murdoch-led networks. The likes of Joe Rogan, who were influential for Trump, endorsing him in 2024 and even hosted him on his very popular podcast, have